I said I heard the rats in the walls, and when I told the management about it, they told me that don't worry about it, it's springtime and the foxes will get the rats.
They keep getting sick. We keep having to give asthma treatments. If the asthma treatments aren't enough, we have to run to the hospital for the hospital to give them asthma treatments.
Your zip code shouldn't determine your health.
Homeowners to renters, the very young to the elderly, all are affected by the condition of their housing.
Good morning, Greensboro Housing Coalition. How can I help?
The Greensboro Housing Coalition is the advocate for safe and affordable housing in Greensboro. What we really strive for is not to just solve problems for people, but to teach them how to solve their own problems for themselves.
Each year, the Greensboro Housing Coalition organizes a bus tour to show concerned citizens the housing conditions in their city.
A lot of folks become more understanding of what the issues are for the people that live in those communities.
Residents of neighborhoods with significant housing problems are much more likely to go to hospitals with asthma attacks. How many of you know that Greensboro, in this area, has one of the highest rates of asthma in the country? It does.
I'm so committed to the work that this community has done. I think we've seen so many innovative things that have happened. The top of the list is the asthma demonstration project with Cone Health System.
Through a newly awarded EPA grant, the coalition will perform 300 housing assessments for people with asthma to identify the asthma risk and teach the resident how to get them fixed.
I want to welcome everybody to the 2014 Healthy Homes Bus Tour.
There's good news. A home being transformed by making needed repairs with the help of Community Housing Solutions.
So we do a lot of accessibility modifications because 75% of the people that we serve are older adults or disabled homeowners that can't physically or financially afford to do some work to their home.
The Greensboro Fire Department works with Community Housing Solutions to make sure the older citizens of Greensboro in the targeted neighborhood of Southmont have working smoke detectors.
Now I have the coat of paint, the porch over there.
And I want to say thank you, and thank you.
I think my house is just gorgeous. One day I drove up and I just sat out there in the street and looked at it and admired it and just smiled. It brought joy. And for Community Housing Solution to choose me, I have been on cloud nine ever since.
Just across the street is a 9-unit apartment complex, vacant and in disrepair. The Greensboro City Council is now enforcing housing codes that are already on the books, and Guilford County has adopted housing codes.
At the end of July, our office received a petition that was signed by 5 citizens who felt that this property was unfit for human habitation and had minimum housing code violations. Following our process, we immediately that day sent a hearing notice of violation to the owner, which set a hearing date for about 20 days out.
This owner never responded to the city. The property was condemned, and the landlord was issued an order to repair or demolish the property.
A situation like this comes about where it becomes open and vacant and then it becomes condemned. The problem with that the GPD's running into is prostitution and narcotics.
Those apartments can be real beautiful for someone to enjoy again.
Is everyone familiar with Heritage House?
Heritage House is a hotel-turned-condominium complex with bad management, rampant crime, and many housing code violations. When the management company stopped paying their bills, owing $38,000 for water, the city stepped in and is now working on a transformation plan.
And we spent the next 30 days in negotiation with Greensboro Housing Coalition, several other partners to decide how we were going to transition these folk into other housing. Thank you guys for listening.
So one thing I wanted to talk about called the free rider effect. That's when a landlord like this, or a landlord like the property that we're going to, creates all of these problems that they don't pay for. They get a free ride out of the deal. They get to collect rent and everybody else gets to pay for it. So if the children have asthma and get sick and go to the hospital, the health systems pay for it. When Heritage House happens, 8 police calls a day, we all pay for that. When the Housing Coalition has to spend a lot of community foundation and City of Greensboro money to relocate people out of this house, all of us are paying for it.
Transformation is greatest when the properties are at their worst. Residents of Ashley Creek Apartments contacted the Greensboro Housing Coalition for help with their housing issues.
I do hear the rats at nighttime. They in the wall so terrible that they bang, and it sounds like somebody's actually in my apartment.
After intervention by the coalition, the owner sold to new management, who is dedicated to the repair of the property.
We had rats, not just little rats, the big ones. And we had one of the worst roach infestations. They had bed bugs. I spent probably $60,000 just treating for bed bugs.
The newly renamed Pinecroft Place Apartments offers tenants a home that is safe and up to code.
This is the kind of enterprise we want to really encourage.
Expanding the supply of affordable housing is important.
We have 30 affordable housing units for every 100 people that need one. 20 years ago, it was about 50 for every 100. So it's getting worse and worse and worse every year. So we need to be thinking now and building now for the housing stock that we're going to have in the future.
Our fourth stop is the site of a soon-to-be affordable housing complex called Hope Court.
It's restricted to households by family size that earn 50% or less of the area median income.
It is possible for owners to keep up their properties. I would love to not have a job because there wouldn't be a need for our services, but unfortunately right now there is.
For 25 years, the Greensboro Housing Coalition has raised the visibility of housing issues. Your help is needed to continue this transforming work. Please support the Greensboro Housing Coalition.